Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development Tactics podcast. This time, indeed, self-development related and or self-improvement related, I think. And the past few days, I've been kind of obsessed about, not really obsessed, but I've really been interested in one particular person. There are a few things that he said that I do not really like, but most of the things that he says, and especially also how he says it, I believe are quite good and definitely worth sharing. So I'm gonna show you. Uh, some of you might already know him. He is called Heng, who is a Shaolin Kung Fu master of the monastery Europe, I think, which is based in Germany. I might actually be able to see ways to support free videos publications. I might actually be able to see where it is exactly. Shaolin Temple Europe. Maybe there is actually no where it is. I don't know if this is public. I mean, it should be, shouldn't it be? Anyway, a Shaolin Kung Fu master shares the 5 mental states that hold us back in life and how to fight them from the CNBC Make It site. A site that I've been on for quite forever, I think. I believe. And yeah, let's actually see what he's talking about there. What I particularly enjoy about him is the way he phrases things, and his opinions that are quite never black and white, but quite in the middle, which I definitely really enjoy because, well, nothing in life is black and white. So let's see. Our journey to fully understand our purpose and value in life, or achieving self-mastery, quote unquote, begins the second we are born. It requires a commitment to building patience, discipline, and self-awareness. In my journey to becoming Shaolin Master, I spent nearly 30 years studying and practicing the interaction between mind and body. This is an essential part of the Shaolin martial arts culture and philosophy, dating back to more than 1,500 years. One of the most important teachings is the 5 hindrances of self-mastery. These are the core mental states that prevent us from seeing clearly, making smart decisions, achieving our goals, and living a happier and harmonious life. And there we're having those 5. 5, of course, 5. I don't know if we are gonna go through all of them today, but let's actually see if there is. There's a TED Talk on that as well. If you're interested. I hope this was no copyrighted music. The first one is the sensational desire. Is intertwined pleasure, and it arises when we have deep craving for something that stimulates one or more of our 5 senses: vision, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. Imagine you've been spending the past week practicing for a half marathon, but on the second week you're interrupted by a smartphone begging for your attention. You give in and end up scrolling through your social media feeds for hours. The time you had set aside for practicing are now wasted. You have lost track. Sensational desires aren't always bad. The idea is that any desire, healthy or unhealthy, can easily turn into an obsession or addiction that distracts us from our goals. So practice overcoming self-desire. The only way to truly fight a temptation is to think deeply and carefully about the eventual consequences of succumbing to it. The next time a sensational desire emerges, ask yourself, will this help or hurt me in the long run? In what ways? I think I want to point out the idea is that any desire, healthy or unhealthy, can easily turn into an obsession or addiction that distracts us from our goals. It can, and it can also be the healthy ones. So it is not a, don't scroll through social media shit, but it is rather, whether it is bad or not doesn't really matter, but it is about it becoming an obsession, which is the whole point of it, him saying. The second, ill will. Ill will is the opposite of sensual desire. Sensual, what the fuck? It's the mental state of not wanting something because of a strong dislike or rejection towards it. It might involve an activity, situation, or person. In order to repair a relationship with a friend, for example, you need to sit down and talk about the issues affecting your relationship. But since you hate confrontations, even non-aggressive ones, you avoid having a conversation altogether, and you might continue to do the same with other relationships too. Negative emotions, for example, fear, anger, frustration, are a natural part of life, but dwelling on them prevents us from moving forward. We just stay stuck in that emotional state. Practice overcoming ill will. Instead of ignoring your ill wills, investigate the roots of it. If it is like confrontations, ask yourself, why? Maybe it is because you have never had success finding solutions to conflicts. Think back to past experiences. What went wrong? What could have been done differently? See this as an opportunity to learn more about yourself by letting go of old ways and trying new ones. Sloth and torpor, which is the third one. Ill will, I think, and this is something else that he said in an interview or whatever. Wanting something bad for someone is not a feeling to have, basically. It, I don't know where it measures from or what he exactly said, but they should definitely not be part of life. They should not be part of your concerns, how you can do whatever to whom, and make someone's life worse by doing whatever. This should not be part of one's life. Yeah. Sloth and torpor. A state of inaction leads to sloth and torpor, whatever even torpor means, I don't know. It is a result of having low energy and a lack of motivation. Sloth and torpor can also come in the form of defeat, self-pity, thoughts of futility, complacency, or even depression. Maybe you're experiencing it in your career because you feel unmotivated by the work you do, or you don't think you're good enough. In Buddhism, it is often described as imprisonment. The more you allow it to control your mind and body, the faster the walls will close in on you. Practice overcoming sloth and torpor. As with all hindrances, you must identify what led you to this mental state, then remind yourself of your goals and what inspired them in the first place. Start taking steps to push through the walls. They can be as small and simple as reaching out to a mentor or doing a walking meditation. Good point there, by the way. I have never done a walking meditation yet, but I think this way meditation has been portrayed for such a long time, I think, as you sitting there and basically doing nothing, I guess is not true anymore. And also what you're doing when you're meditating. There is several different kinds of meditation for different things and also for different people and for different needs. So really going through all of them and trying to see what fits you best is worth doing, just because meditation is just worth doing, period. Whether you are Buddhist or not, whether you believe in this Shaolin type of stuff and whatever, it's definitely part of their well, I would certainly say culture and part of their life, but it's scientifically proven to be worth doing, period. Restlessness, the fourth one, is the result of an unsettled mind. This often happens to people who are constantly worried or anxious about the future, or who judge themselves or others for their actions. In Buddhism, restlessness is referred to as having a monkey mind, constantly jumping from one branch to another, unable to stay focused. During times of restlessness, we become more vulnerable to whims and may act in ways that we later regret, thus fueling the hindrance even more. So observe your restlessness as it is happening. Your mind might be stirring with frustration or something you regret doing the week before. Acknowledge the feeling, understand it, then let it go. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to overcome restlessness. The point is to clear your mind of compulsive clutter so that you can find peace and quiet in the present. And the last one being skeptical doubt leads to uncontrollable hesitation and questioning. This hindrance can be linked to a tub of water stirred with mud placed in a dark room. The lack of light and cloudiness makes it hard to see clearly. You might question your ability. Am I capable of doing this? What if I fail? or a mentor's advice. He's not experienced enough. I know more than he does. Or your decisions. Am I doing the right thing? What if something bad happens? Doubt can actually be your friend. It might exist as a sign that you need to take step backs, to consider your options, or it might indicate that something, for example a decision or a given task, is a violation of your values. The key is to challenge your doubts. Ask yourself, does the reasoning behind my doubt make sense? Is there logic to it? Or is it really just disconnecting me from my goals? And with that being said, I'm gonna end the episode there. Wish you best and hopefully see you soon. So